Do you understand? And in that whole gesture, you could have understood the universe. I'll leave that for those who have some wit. Or not. Perhaps nullified intuition shall suffice. Alright, greetings. Little jokes aside, that's just to break some humor in, rather than be so vigorous and arduous and everything, buddy. So, allow me to have a nice talk with you. We are going to candidly and lucidly discuss idea, belief, and perhaps truth. Those three. A trinity, if you will. So, as everybody well knows, there are ideas aplenty coming into us at every single day, at every single moment. An idea. Do you know what an idea is? Have you had any today, tonight? Throughout your life? Probably. In all probability, you've had many ideas. An idea is usually formed of an inspiration. An idea is ideation. An idea comes from within. It is often based on the sense perception, a desired result, maybe. An idea comes to us in every manner possible, shape, way, and form that they arrive. For example, somebody wants to break out of their boring moment, perhaps, and say, I have an idea, let's go and do such and such. Or maybe that's true as a result of thinking, inspiration, thinking, perhaps as a composite of result, as a totality. When we have an idea, it's like a tickled fancy. It is something that has a thrill almost in some cases. There's a joy. There's an attraction that wishes to be met, perhaps, or a desire that wants to be fulfilled. A truth perhaps wants to be known. Or perhaps an emotion wants to be justified with an idea. Not all ideas are true. Ideas in themselves can be very, very innocent. They can be sort of in a neutral place, perhaps incongruous, perhaps devoid of something as a motive other than just wanting to know or experience something. I don't have to tell you what an idea is. You can formulate your own ideas about what an idea is, man, woman. Do you understand? So, an idea in itself, in a certain correlative way, is innocent in the sense of it hasn't yet been met. It is an inspired thing. It wishes to be received by something. Perhaps it wants to be a recipient of something. Or it wants to grant access into something, gain access into something. A sense perception. Like we said, mostly it's about an experience. Next off, we'll have a belief. And a belief can be something that someone is of a disposition to think is true. You may believe that there is such thing as an idea of a God. You may believe that there is no God. You may believe that spirits exist or don't. You may believe anything. The belief itself may not be true. In so many cases, the belief isn't true. So for an example, in a sort of a, if you will allow me, a chronological type of way, an idea is sparked as a new level of enhanced awareness, perhaps, in its inception, at the very least. And then after some thought process, after some experience, whether fully satisfying or not, a belief may be formed. In most cases, the belief itself could be supposed as a result of mental perceptions. Now, Let's just say, and here I have a little wee candle, dears. Let's just say my idea was to light the candle. Oh, I want to light a candle for my mystical video. My belief was the flame is hot. Is that belief based upon me knowing it from experience? In this case, it would be. So here comes the third aspect of truth. My physical body, at least, maybe my mind could override it with belief. Oh, see how tricky it gets? Or an idea. I have an idea that if I believe strongly enough, the flame wouldn't burn me. You see how tricky and interesting that becomes. But in the normal sense, in the sense that I am in this present moment, I'm not in a state of deep trance or overpowering my physicality right now, and as would be the general thing, and I wouldn't recommend anyone put their finger in a flame, of course, unless you really become adept at cooling systems. Now I know that if I touch this flame, the end result is going to be scorched flesh, an unpleasant sensation, because that is my habitual experience with it. But again, if I really truly believed that I could touch this flame and not be burnt, and I 100% had the faith of that somehow, could it be done? Would I not be burned? People have been able to do such things. So, this is, by that meager, crude example, if you'll permit me, this is to showcase the interesting nature of the three and how they have an interrelated nature by default. Your idea, your belief, and a truth or not. So, we also talk about relativity. In many, many cases, people believe things that are not true without having proven them. Whether that truth is malleable or not, it truly can be hard to say. Ask yourself, and that's the purpose of the video, are you willing to challenge yourself to new heights of understanding and awareness? Will you be able to be strong to go through a trial or two that you may self-impose to see if your belief is structured? Is it assigned? Is it a byproduct of something else, someone else's thinking? The video that I'm saying now, my words, do you believe they're true? Do you have an idea it was true? Did you truly, truly prove or not it was true? Do you cognizantly know? Do you recognize it? No. Is there direct perception or not? You see how relative these things can be? It's very interesting. If indeed we take the words of certain great adepts, such as the Master Jesus, never mind Christianity as the religion it became, which is absolute rubbish in way too many cases, but taking a master adept like Jesus or Buddha or whoever you like, it could be anybody, known or unknown figure, it doesn't matter. But in the words of Jesus when he said, if you truly believed and had the faith of a mustard seed, you could say to the mountain, get up hence and go thence, and it would obey you. Or to be able to even walk on water, or to be able to do things, incredible things. Are these things true? Do you believe that you can? Do you believe that someone else can, but you can't? And if so, why? Where does that idea, belief, and truth or untruth come from? On your own experience or not? Is your faith in the belief in something strong enough that you could do it? If we have an unwavering nature, perhaps we could pull off a lot more than we think. And indeed, doubt, fear and doubt, they're the same thing pretty much, are our greatest enemies to conquer. So, what do we do with this? If we are becoming persons of enlightenment and following the path of evolving, becoming more than what we are into the limitations that we think we are experiencing, we are basically a great primal life spark. Call it the God, call it the chaos, call it the seat of seats. My terms aren't better than yours necessarily. I don't even know what to say it. Everybody has a flavor. But these experiences that we're having, the rules that have been implemented, they are held together such because they are definitely so. Are they held together for a temporary time? And are not necessarily altruisms. On this planet, and in the bodies that we seem to possess for a period of time, going through these incarnation processes, maybe the finger would be burned habitually in a normal state, unless you chose to overcome it. On another planet or in a different dimension, or if you were a fire elemental or something like this, would the fire hurt you at all? Maybe not. If you were made of water, would you quelch the flame? So, when we think about these things, when we unshackle and unharness the conditioned mind, we come to ask ourselves, what do we really know? So much of what we think and believe in and have ideas about, I think we know is true. Our suggestions and ideas, our suppositions, presuppositions, conjectures, and all manner of things that we don't necessarily know are true. If you want to be someone who knows what is true, you got to really be willing to do the work, just like I must do the work. We can say this body, if it were decapitated, would die. That would certainly be true. I don't think there's many headless horsemen in a physical sense walking around. Ichabod Crane and all that. So ask yourself, under certain laws, I'm trying to think, was it Timothy Leary who said, take my head off and it will continue to exist and I'll function and be normal, even without a body? It didn't work for him, I guess. But ask yourself, or that's some movie I'm confusing it with. Anyway, it's funny to think about this, yeah. But ask yourself, in your belief structure, is the belief based on an idea that was innocent, or did it have a motive with an expectancy of some kind or another? And that what you are saying and portraying and professing to be true, do you really know? Who is really a master of self? Do we even know what that means, or is that a relative term? We can say, perhaps in idea, belief, and truth in one, we can say we don't know really that much, or things are relative or subjective and things like this. When somebody says something they believe in, they often want it to be true without necessarily fully knowing. In Buddhism, Siddhartha talked about direct perception, direct knowing. But directly knowing what? Directly knowing that you, in the seat of yourself, your true selfhood, to call it that, are a void. Was he talking about that? Maybe so. Certain philosophers and occultists would agree with that. The highest self has no shape, way, or form. The Gnostic tradition, modern chaos magicians, things like this. And I would tend to agree with them, actually. That we don't really know what is that which is viewing these things. So, if that can be taken, that takes great inner intuition, which leads to great knowing, perception. I can say by logical happenstance, and by closing my eyes and by shutting everything off, I know that I am, I exist. And you should know it for yourself that you are and you exist. And you should come to the understanding, here's a good word, rather than misunderstanding, that you are a life in some sort of eternal flux, in this strangely ordered chaos that we seem to be in, and of and are. But don't take my word for it. Don't believe because someone said it. Also, like what the Buddha said, don't believe in a single thing I say. Find out for yourself whether or not it's true. And that's more of the position of mastery rather than someone who's trying to force ideas. Join my cult or die. What a lack of unbelief, a decrepit idea, and an untruth those types of religions are. They should be eradicated, decapitated. So, let me take a sip of the old red. I know I'm not inebriated, and if I was, I'd still be intellectually cognizant man. But I'm not. I would admit otherwise, gladly, it doesn't matter. Cheers. Happy bee. Now, fear, as we said, doubt, fear, same thing. Fear is the great unmotivating factor. It can be a motivating factor, though. That's true. Before you correct me, auto-correct myself. But in this particular context, unmotivating factor, meaning that which does not allow you to go beyond yourself. And fear as an inhibitor is that which causes cessation and closed-mindedness, and cloister, and tunnel vision. On the other hand, fear as the motivating factor, well, that'll be for another subtopic video context, but yeah, you know that it can be fight or flight and all kinds of things, and ambition and leading to heroic things. Ask yourself what your belief is about fear, and your idea of it, and your truth of it. You know, you feel it, you have directly perceived, received, and acted and experienced fear, as you also have love, the attracting agent of the universe. Love, the strong binding force. Anyone who said they didn't experience fear or love is absolutely a complete liar, because they have, in ways and shapes and forms. So, simply put, without dragging through the dregs and hedgerows of minutes and minutes, simply put, and I'm not here to teach anything, just simply ask for you to ask yourself if you would so choose, watching my little wee video on the muse. It's the news. Don't have the blues, bro, sis. Ask yourself if you have differentiation, unity, understanding. Is there complacency? Is there transparency with yourself? And when you come to understand, or try to understand, and hopefully do end up understanding after the attempt of trying. There is no try, there are only do, right? But if you can come to this differentiation and dissect some of yourself, your belief on idea and truth on truth, systems, if you will, I don't know what word, then you maybe have a position to change, to grow, to understand better, to bring yourself nakedly to the core, to realize that a lot of it is in a type of void. As they say, empty but non-empty at the same time. It's hard to describe with human terms. It has to be just an understanding, like a fulfilling vacuum in a way, if that makes sense. My words may not necessarily correlate to your understanding of them, and something is lost in communication, translation, but I think you know what I mean. See for yourself if it is real or not, your ideas and your belief systems, the things that you think are true or know quotation to be true, or else know with underlined, bold, and italicized, know, capitalized, cap letter, cap lock. I know it to be true. And then you will see if what you are doing is in contrast. If something were easily known to be true, then everybody could believe it. For example, before I cut the video off, we can all say that the body needs water to live. Anyone can agree. If they believed in occult or religion, or they were a complete nihilist, atheist, whatever. This body needs water to live, or it will die. That's a fact. So we can all agree on that without arguing. But can we all say that one religion is the truth? If so, why wouldn't everybody follow it? Are there cultural things stopping us? Is there a common sense bridge missing that needs to be making the gap full? Ask yourself what is of common sense versus a belief, and then the stages and layers. When someone is fully convinced, they can be attractive in the sense of like a magnet. People who don't fully truly believe or know, they want to get some answers and go to this individual or group or whatever the case. Even a TV show for that matter, I don't know, get some kick out of it, some justification, some validation, whatever it might be. But when that uncertainty maybe will be a little more full, then I think the insecurity and the fear and the doubt would go away. So I'm just simply suggesting to build the inner pyramid. And that inner pyramid may go on forever. You may think you're getting to a point, and then all of a sudden, smaller, no, and more minute and minute, and then it's like it never ends, it never reaches anything. Could that be the truth as well? Ask yourself these questions. Be bright, be bold, be true. If you're not boldly true with yourself, at least, how are you going to be true with anybody else? And those who are aggressive with others, who want to conform and this and that, they're not very convinced in themselves, I don't think. Because if you truly were convinced in yourself of something, you wouldn't need to make followers or create issues or strife or warmongering or God knows what else. The truth has to be revealed as common sense. Anyone can go, oh yeah, of course. Or come to have the idea that it could be believed in to be true. And go from there without harassment. Something like that. Let your thoughts go with that one, and I'll stop the video for now. I hope I made a little bit of semblance and a little bit of sense in my sensical, nonsensical mind. What? No, just being silly. Be aware that we are clowns and contradictions. Then you can have a good laugh at yourself and you can be more realistic too. Just my little extra advice on the side, yo. Wishing you sincerely, though, namaste, if that truly does mean the best in me greets the best in you. Truly, I mean that when I say that. That is an idea or a belief. I do mean it. Take care, my friend, and evolve. And see what you may find. See what corners you will turn and avenues that open. It could be wunderbar. Take it easy.